Hey YouTube, welcome to another video. So, have you ever wondered how muscles actually know when to grow? Well, today I'm going to break down the science of muscle growth while showing you how to apply it in your own workouts. By the end of this video, you will know exactly how to train smarter for bigger guns. Let's get into it. So, your muscles detect tension, which is what we actually need for them to grow. This is called, this word's like, mechanotransduction. Really, to be honest with you, it just sounds fancy. But it just means basically how muscles sense physical stress and turn that signal into bigger and stronger muscles. We're starting off with some calf raises on the leg press. But let's be honest with you, who wants to watch people train calves? I don't need to watch this, it's boring as hell. Hold it for 5 seconds at the bottom, go up, come down, literally, it's just boring as hell. So let's cut it here and we'll move on to the next exercise. Exercise number 1 done, leg press, calf raises, 2 working sets. Moving on to a single leg glute drive. I'm going to be doing 2 working sets on here as well. First 2 exercises are my priority. Those are the 2 things that I'm trying to focus on today. Then moving on to quads and hamstrings. So getting into today's topic. When we lift a weight, our muscles feel this tension, this mechanical tension that tells them then to grow. This creates this chain reaction and say, listen, this is what's happening. We need to react to this. So depending on the type of tension that we create, the muscles can either add new fibers side by side, which is what gets them thicker, or they can add new parts in a row, which is what gets them longer. But where is this tension detected? First working set here on the glute drive. First up are Costameres. Okay, these names are, you don't need to worry about, but these are basically signals inside of the muscles, fibers, that actually connect your muscles to the surrounding tissues. Think of them almost like a middleman that transfer force and kickstart that growth signal. So how does that happen? How do we get these Costameres to do what they need to do? And it's basically having control of your movement, making sure we're moving in controlled manner. So when you see me do this exercise now, I want to make sure I'm in control of it. I'm not just jumping up and down, be in control of it, nice and slow. Let's get those middlemen to start this transfer of force and kickstart this growth, because we need to grow these glutes, guys. All right, let's do this. Single leg. Hey. Nice and controlled. Right guys, moving on to leg press. We're doing only 1 working set on this, got a couple of warm-ups to do first. And this is going to go directly into the next phase of this mechanical tension that we've been talking about. So the next phase of that is Titin, T-I-T-I-N, which is a giant protein running through your muscle fibers. And it's like a rubber band. It stretches when the muscle is lengthening. So when I'm bringing this down, as you'll see now, just a warm up here. As I'm lengthening, as I'm bringing the weight down, the quad is stretching, it's lengthening. It's like that rubber band, and it resists that stretch. And this is really, really important during this lowering phase. So nice and controlled down. You really need to get that stretch at the bottom, and then drive up and pause there. This is what we call the eccentric. One more, there's a warm up. And so Titin is this part here of bringing it down and that resistance band. And it's really important that you control that. You don't want to be dropping the weight too fast, otherwise you're missing out on that process. You need to control the way down. As you did prior, when I said prior on the glute bridge, you need to control that weight on the way up. Same thing, you need to control the weight on the way down. Really, really important if you want to maximize your muscle growth. Okay, working set on this. We got 6 reps last time. Let's try and aim and see what we can get. Hopefully we can get 7 on this today. 1, 2, 3. Come on. One more. Lightweight. Yes. Whew. Happy with that. See, that was a working set. As the weight gets heavier, the controlling of the movement becomes even more important. So, as I just said, with that Titin, really important that you can control that weight on the way down to get that rubber band effect that we want to create the muscle growth that ideally we want. There's a lot of talk at the moment in regards to stretching the muscle, and that's the best place to be in terms of growing muscle. I'm not massively in agreement with that. I think that we have to work the muscle in its full range of motion. So, yeah, fantastic to work through the stretch position, like on a leg press or hack squat or squat. But really important as well to get the contracted position on leg extension, which is what we're going to do next. So don't neglect the contracted portion of a muscle just because you hear that the stretch position has more advantage for growth. Extension, 2 working sets on here. The last time you see me do legs, I was leaning back a little bit more and I was focusing more on the top range of this exercise. Here I'm going more from the bottom range to almost the mid range, which means I can go slightly heavier as well. I'm not too bothered about getting the top as much because I'll be getting that on my next leg session. But to kind of go back to the mechanical tension and the key to muscle growth, there's another component to that, which is force-velocity relationship. And that basically is the speed at which we move. The tension that we create massively depends on how fast or how slow we move, both in the concentric and eccentric part of a lift. So I'm a big fan of lifting heavier weights because of this force-velocity relationship. If I go light here, I'm going to be moving so fast that the tension on the muscle, even if I actually voluntarily move slow, there's not enough load to create the mechanical tension that we've been talking about. And so with light weights, it's going to take me a while to create that tension, which is then going to create fatigue. But if I go heavier, that force-velocity relationship really comes, really comes into play straight away. And how we move is key to that. Because if we are not controlling the movement, if the weight's too heavy, you're not going to be able to do it anyway. If the weight's too light, you're going to be able to move too fast. And if you're moving too fast, you're not going to be able to create the tension that we want in the muscle fibers to create muscle growth. So lifting heavy and lifting in controlled manner. On the way up, I'm always thinking about a 2-second concentric almost. And on the way down, I want to control that movement down, typically 3-4 seconds. I'm not counting that in my head, if I'm honest with you. I'm not overthinking that. But the actual load itself is going to dictate how fast or how slow we move. As an example, if you were to do a box jump, if you're jumping onto a box, you're actually going to create a lot of tension in your muscles. But because of the speed of it, it's too fast. You're never going to grow muscle from that. Whereas with a load, that speed is automatically just going to slow down based on the fact that the load is heavy. So force velocity is really important. So controlling the concentric and controlling the eccentric is key under load. So let's see what we can get out of this. Full stack. We got 7 last time. I'll be over the moon if I could get 8 on this. No PB there today. 7 reps is what it is. Okay, we stick into the full stack. We've got 6 on the second set. Let's see what we can get out of this one now. But before we go, what are the takeaways of today's video? So we know mechanical tension is the key to muscle growth. Muscles detect tension through Costameres and Titin, as I've already said, and then obviously that force-velocity relationship. So the concentric portion, so as I'm going up on this leg extension now, that's creating more thickness, and the lowering portion, the eccentric, is creating more length, longer muscle fibers. So that's, to me, it's very important that we create a workout where we're focusing on the full range of motion, even if it's just not on one exercise. For example, on the leg press, that's only going to really focus on the eccentric portion, mid to lengthen range. Here, I'm getting more of the contracted portion of the quad. So creating a workout around muscles that you want to improve that allows for both of those things to happen is key. And then the speed. Speed, force-velocity relationship is key. And so we don't want to be lifting too little weights. In terms of little, I mean lighter weights, because you're going to be moving too fast. And even if you're moving at a power, such as a box jump, that's not going to be enough because of how fast you're moving. So the load will create that to slow down without you even trying. So we're not trying to slow the movement down ourselves. We want the movement to slow down through the load itself. So rep 1, rep 2, rep 3 might be a little bit easier, but by rep 4, that movement is going to slow down. That's what we want to create, that mechanical tension to grow new muscle. And then those reps, when you start to slowing down, are the ones that really start to matter. So those are the key takeaways to what mechanical tension is. Last exercise, guys, we're doing 2 working sets on here. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. So try these tips in your next workout and let me know how it goes. Obviously, if you found this video helpful, hit the like button, subscribe for more, and drop a comment below with what you'd like me to cover next. Come on, guys. Let's get smarter and stronger together. See you on the next video. Ah!